Well, I'm assuming everybody can hear me and things are running okay. Just going to move myself out of the picture. Okay, so as I said, my name's Andrew Carney. I'm one of the staff in the Institute of Business Law and Society at St Mary's University, which I suspect some of you will be familiar with. It's not very far away from Richmond College, just down the road towards Strawberry Hill on the Waldegrave Road into Twickenham. As I say, I'm sure a number of you are familiar with it. And what I highly recommend, unfortunately, we can't be on the campus today, but the campus should be up and running fairly soon, and I'd highly recommend, if you are interested, to go and have a look around. There will be an open day, I think, on Saturday, and there will be various open day events over the next academic year, I mean, across the, certainly starting again in September. So please do take the opportunity to have a look at the institution if you can. It's a beautiful campus, tucked away, as I say, behind a wall off Waldegrave Road. I always used to call it a little bit of a secret, St Mary's, but it shouldn't be a secret because it's a wonderful place. So as I say, I'm one of the lecturers in the Institute of Business Law and Society, and St Mary's offers a whole range of different undergraduate programs in the business management area. So I'm just going to run through this. It's a short presentation, and the slides will be available for you to review another time later on in the future. And there's also a link at the end which will enable you to register your details with the universities so that we can stay in touch with you if you are interested in joining, as I say, one of those open days, or in fact, actually joining the university at some point in the future. To say we've got a choice of programs that we offer now on in the Institute of Business, and here you can see our undergraduate programs. So we have a degree running in the sort of broad general management area, business management. And then we have what I refer to as sort of pathway degrees. They're separate degrees, and they are built around more sort of specialist areas within the business management, within business management. So we have there, as you can see, business management and entrepreneurship. Okay, so there's a focus there around enterprise, some of the key aspects relevant to running businesses, setting up businesses, establishing businesses. We have business management and finance. Those are just my emails, just ignore those. Okay, so there's more specialism there around the accounting side of business and the financial side. We also have a pathway which has business management with marketing and marketing. So again, there's a catch of different modules there supporting that area in terms of providing the background and the knowledge within the marketing function. And then we have an international business management pathway as well. Now, those are the 5 that we are currently offering. They've been running approximately for the last 4 years. I find that the majority of students, quite a number of students, have already a fairly keen interest in a particular area within business management. And so therefore, those pathways might provide that focus for individuals, or the business management program, which is just a broad capture of all those different areas within business. How does the program run? Well, in the first year of the program, whichever program you are on, each of those programs would have the same basic structure in the first year. Okay. All of the courses are 3-year full-time courses, and they have a combination of core modules. Those are compulsory modules which have to be taken. Each student must study those. And then those option modules, which are built around the different pathways and allow students to focus around those areas and the interest that they have within them. And we have within all of those modules what we refer to as a blended learning approach. And therefore we have, now this is the traditional delivery. In other words, obviously things have changed slightly with the COVID situation over the last 18 months or so. I'm just going to pause a minute because I'm getting a lot of noise on my machine here. Hopefully things are okay, people can hear me. Okay, so I don't know what that was. So we're going to go back in. Here we are. So I'll carry on. I can't turn my volume off, I'm afraid, so it's just email noises that are happening in the background. Okay, so I was just mentioning to you there that the traditional approach for delivery at the university is to have that sort of a lecture. Most of the modules will run a lecture depending on the size of the cohort, the classes, the people on the modules. So we have a sort of a lecture, which is anywhere up to a 2-hour slot, and then backed up with seminars where students are in much smaller groups and they have much more informal contact with the seminar leaders and the tutors. And we also have what we refer to as tutorials. So this is a sort of in the background where students are able to make arrangements to talk to tutors, okay, as well as making time to meet up with other staff, but also this would be supported now, and I'm sure you guys know about this, Moodle, the virtual learning environment. So that's all in the background, which enables us to capture all the information and the activities electronically, so it's always there for you. And also we have all our submission for courseworks are used and uploaded through the Moodle system through Turnitin. And again, I'm reckoning a number of you have come across these things before. I mean, obviously things have changed slightly in the last 18 months or so with the situation that we've all been faced with lockdown. And I'm guessing a number of you are probably watching this from various places, most likely from home, etc. And in that respect, actually, we did have in semester one last year, that's in September 2020, we did have a sort of blended learning approach which we utilized, where we had a mixture of online delivery. So the big lecture sessions were recorded separately and students then could access those through Moodle. And then we ran live seminars on campus for those students who could join us. Obviously, we were restricted with access. And I can imagine, I think at the moment, that's the sort of plan going forward for September with the new intake coming on. But to say, normally we would find lectures are delivered in the big lecture rooms and seminars are held in the classrooms and tutorials are held in the staff offices. So it's a 3-year program, okay, no matter which pathway you choose to go down. There's an example of our first year. And as I said to you at the beginning, when we got to the programs here, all of the first year students would follow the same modules. So we have a range of 6 core modules. Let me just give you a little tiny bit more general information about the university and how things run here. St. Mary's operates on a semester system, and a semester is basically half an academic year. So semester one would run from September, the beginning of the academic year, through to the halfway point, which is about Christmas, January. And so in semester one, students would be looking at these 3 core modules. All the students, no matter which pathway or which degree course they have signed up for. It's in the second year that those specialisms begin. So in the first semester of the business management program, year one, we have these 3 core modules, which are just really capturing the very basic elements of business management. So we have management theory, there is contemporary marketing practice and organizational behavior, introducing some of the aspects around work psychology and some of those other attributes there. In the second semester in year one, all the students would have to study decision-making, financial decision-making, which is a capture of different aspects in terms of giving people the basis to be able to move forward in their degrees. So we look at some of the accounting areas, we track shares on the stock market, that type of thing. I run that module. Human resource management, which is an introduction to managing the employee element within business, and then a broader module, contemporary business issues. To say all of those modules have to be studied in the first year, and it's from that basis then that students then move into the second year, having completed all those modules, completed and passed all those modules. And in the second year, the programs become a little bit more specialist. I haven't got a slide around the second year because there are so many different modules that we have which people can join, but there are specific modules which some of the students might select for the particular programs that they are following. So we find core modules become more distinct to the pathways, the degree courses that the students have signed up to in years 2 and 3. Let's move on. One of the good things about St Mary's, I suppose, all universities have to do this now, there is a TEF rating, Teaching Excellence Framework. St Mary's, I'm glad to say, has a silver rating. It goes bronze, silver and gold. And the panel, if you like, who adjudicate and determine the institution's rating, say that St Mary's has a very high quality teaching and good learning and outcomes for students, and is consistently exceeds the rigorous national entry quality requirements for HE. So I mean, that's a kite mark for us, and we're proud of it, and we are at least going to maintain that, if not move beyond that to the gold level in the next assessment. So in the background, St Mary's has that credentials. So what is our focus on business management and also as an institution? First of all, one of the key things that we're interested in our students achieving over the 3 years is the employability, the skills to be able to convert knowledge into practical skills, and that will then give them the basis for being much more available in terms of employability when they go into the job markets at the end of their programs. All of the courses which the business management offers integrate work experience. Now, this I think is a real advantage and a real benefit at St Mary's. It's not just something which was set up a few years ago. This is something which has been in place for almost 20 years now. And it means that we have modules which are designed and incorporated into the 2nd and 3rd year. Students are highly encouraged to undertake these, where they are given the opportunity to go out and join a business, a whole range of different businesses which the work experience unit is able to provide for us. So it's a fantastic set of modules, and they are integrated into the degree. So you're getting a mark which feeds into your degree program from doing those modules. So work experience is incorporated into the degree, and all students are encouraged to do at least one of those modules, but you can do up to 3 across the 2nd and 3rd year. And of course, that gives you a huge set of advantages in terms of creating and generating those employability skills, but also the whole network and contacts that you can generate by being out there working for companies. So we also try to maintain realistic connections through the modules and on the program to what's going on in the real world. So you'll find a lot of the modules will incorporate visiting speakers, external speakers. There'll be live business projects, a whole range of different field trips which are offered for the students on particular modules. Okay, so really a good attempt there to keep a link to reality. It's not something which is abstract, it's something which is building and integrating within the programs itself. There is also the offer at St Mary's, again, which is a fantastic thing to be able to apply to study abroad, we call it. So it's an optional year or study abroad. And in the past, students have been to various locations, such as America, Australia is a popular route. Europe, of course, is still there. And of course, there is opportunities to go and study abroad as well. So what happens there is that you once you're accepted onto the study abroad program, then your grades that you achieve in the institution that you are studying in overseas, those grades will feed back into your degree program. So they're all compatible within the existing framework of assessments that we have. And we also have a whole range of different opportunities for student development. And in recent years, we've seen a number of different societies being set up by students and run by students. And we have, for example, the Student Enterprise Society. And this is very much a student-led initiative where they will set up and run group sessions, inviting speakers, sometimes staff will join as well. And it's all part and parcel of that development of those skills to enable you to gain a lot more than just a degree from studying at St Mary's. So those are the sort of focuses that we have. Okay. And I mean, as I said at the beginning, if you've gone past St Mary's, perhaps on the 33 bus, okay, then you will probably have realised that it's hidden away behind a wall, as I keep saying, but it is actually a nice and small, friendly institution, lots of opportunities for interactions, massive amount of sports facilities and sports clubs which are offered. Of course, they've got fantastic facilities there and a whole range of different sports programs which are offered through the sports faculty. We try to sell this as being we're producing what we call triple threat graduates. In other words, very highly skilled graduates going out into the workplace, into the labour markets, and they have these key credentials. The first of these elements is the idea of linking to our modules and to our degree programs professional accreditation. So we have recognised accreditations from different institutions. It's on my next slide. I'll show you that in a second. So we have that integrated into our course. Okay, so that's professional institutions recognizing the quality of the modules and the assessments that we provide. Okay, we also have the second element in this triple threat graduates, creating people with strong skills, is the long-term project. In other words, experience of studying and researching and producing a lengthy dissertation project. That's usually that will be held in your third year. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, the third element here is the internship, the placement, the work experience, which is integrated into those modules as part of your degree program. And that creates this idea of very employable, very flexible, very skilled, and very experienced students. As I say, those three key elements are highly valued by employers because of the flexibility that they provide. Those are the professional accreditations I just mentioned briefly. At the moment, we have three. There is a fourth one. So the accreditations are professional bodies who've scrutinised the offer that we have on our modules and our program, and they award us an accreditation. For the CMI there, the Chartered Management Institute, that means all the students can achieve a level 5 diploma as part of their degree. So they get the degree and the diploma from the Chartered Institute, the Chartered Management Institute. We also have accreditations with other professional bodies. We've got CIPFA there, Chartered Institute of Personnel and Finance. That's the, and CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. Now these are accreditations which enable students who want to go into those areas to become qualified as professionals, accountants, for example. These accreditations provide exemptions. So if students, when they finish and they want to go and study to become a chartered accountant, then they can use the accreditations offered by these institutions as a way to gain an entry point slightly higher into those study areas. So it's exemptions which are provided there. Okay, these are constantly reviewed, and I think we've now also incorporated in here. It's not clearly on this slide, but there's also the marketing. Chartered Institute of Marketing is now accredited the marketing degree as well. It's not on my slide here. So these are ongoing accreditations and recognitions. And my colleague Robin would be very upset if I didn't mention to you that I think we are the only degree program in London which has a Institute of Marketing accreditation. So I know he worked very hard to gain that for us last year. Just moving on. Of course, it's important to realise that the purpose of the degree, of course, is to gain those skills which we can then transfer into work opportunities. And I think that's the idea, as I've been trying to put across to you, this idea of developing not just knowledge through the learning, but also to develop these transferable employment skills. And we've got them down there, the sort of things that you might recognise in some of the skills that you're assessed on: communication, presentation, analysis, research, team working, deadlines, etc. So those are all part and parcel in a sense. And it means that the graduates over the years have gone off and began careers in a whole different range of areas. And you can see from the list there, it's quite broad. So graduates moving into opportunities in banking, insurance. Remember that we are close to the city and the main sort of financial centre of the UK. So insurance, law, business consultancy, as well as sort of more specialist areas. A number of students going into positions in leisure and in sport, marketing and human resources. So a whole range of areas that our graduates have gone into. And although this is probably an approximation, it has held true that about 2/3 of our students are employed. And most of those are going to be employed, hopefully, in the areas that they wanted to be in. But as I say, about 2/3 are employed. Just under another third move on to do further study. That's become a little bit more popular, of course, with the pandemic as well. Moving on to masters and higher education. 11% other, and about 5% who are still looking after 6 months. Now, these, of course, these are figures you can go through again when you look at the national statistics relevant for St Mary's. So that's a little extra from there. Here's a list of the sort of places that the students went to. It's by no means all the places. I just thought it'd be useful to give a little bit of a capture to you of some of the actual positions that people have gone into. So as you can see there, we've even St Mary's itself, we've got a few of our old graduates working at St Mary's, Thames Water, Sky Media. Of course, remember they're not very far away, they're over in Brentford. Lloyd's, Children's Trust, Healthcare, Tyndall Newspaper, a whole load of different places. You can see the sort of positions those students have started off their careers in. And as I say, some of those students there, for example, the accountant assistant there might well be able to utilise the accreditations to gain entry and start to do their professional qualification as they're working. What are the entry requirements for our degree programs? Well, we've got the UCAS points there, about 96, anything above 96. On A-level grades, it's 3 Cs to up to a B and 2 Cs, and the BTEC qualification there in terms of merits as an average to distinction and merits. In the background there, of course, we do require people to now have a GCSE in maths and English as a requirement. That sort of information, more information about that in the prospectus, and again on the website as well. So those are the entry requirements for the degree programs. I've also got a little bit of information here about the foundation year. So 5 years ago, St Mary's started to run foundation courses. Now this means we have students who are sort of in a sense active on campus, part of the community, utilising all the facilities, etc. And for 1 year, they do a sort of preparation to then join those degree programs. So we have a sort of a range of different foundation years, and they're all coordinated by the Institute. And we've got programs in law, we've got programs in management, we've got programs in sport management, etc. It's a preparation year just to bring you up to speed, and then you can start the main degree program. Number of students on that program at the moment, and I think I've got a bit of information just coming up here about the entry requirements for that. So to join the foundation year, you would have these requirements. So about 48 UCAS points. There's our A-level grades there, and again our BTEC as well. I don't think there's too much pressure for those GCSEs for foundation entry, but you can check that. St Mary's has been, we're going to be celebrating soon our 125th year, might have been 100. It's a centenary event of some description, and I'd just like to show you some of the people who have been to St Mary's and have really made success. Of course, we can all recognise Mo Farah at the end there. He didn't actually study at St Mary's, but he did use the facilities there to train for about 10 years prior to becoming a top top athlete, and some other success there from other students that we've seen. Joe Wicks there. I mean, I'm not familiar with his TV shows. I expect you might be a little bit more clued up about that than I am. Nevertheless, he's made a massive success of that. There's one of our alumni from the English creative writing, and one of our presidents from a few years ago, student union president, who has a little blurb there from. And I'm just going to flick on. So yeah, lots of potential. And if I just go there, now we're going to pass over to Gerardo quickly, who's I can see there. Hi, Gerardo. And I think he's just going to take you through a couple of little bits that I've missed out.
Yes.
I'm the business manager. But Gerardo, yes, please just add a little bit, please, and then we'll open up for any questions that you might have.
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Okay.
And hello everybody, and nice to be with you here. Yes, so as a university, we teach, yes, but we also do research. We do both. And in business, we have a special cluster or center, if you like, where we research business issues and especially business ethics issues. So I'm going to try and display a page. Bear with me.
Do you want me to stop displaying?
Yes, please, Andrew, if you don't mind. Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna, okay, I'll try to share our business ethics webpage. 1 second, sorry about this. Yep, I can see it. Yes, I believe you can see it. It says business ethics there at the top.
Yep.
Can you confirm that you can see it, maybe, Andrew?
Yes, that's fine, yeah.
Okay, so basically here we collect all our business ethics research, okay? That's why it's called a cluster, because we collect research. These are our members. I'm Gerardo Girardi, where I'm pointing now. We have 2 professors, which is a good sign. It's a sign of quality, basically. We take PhD students. So if in the future, you're inspired and you want to apply and do research, by all means, you're very welcome to apply. We have at the moment about 10 students, and we have a couple of new ones joining in October. And these are the areas we're involved in. So first of all, the interaction between profit maximizing firms and firms with social missions competing in the same market. So, the mainstream view in economics is that companies maximize profits. In real life, it's a bit more complicated. Some firms maximize profits only. Some also have social objectives, and a very small minority, has only social objectives. So we study the competition between these different firms in the same market and see what happens, basically, see what the outcome is in terms of how much is produced, at what price, and what the ethical outcome is from this interaction. Okay. Microfinance is finance for the poor. Yeah. So it was pioneered by Mohammed Yunus, the Nobel Prize winner. He's the Peace Prize winner, by the way. He won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2007, I believe. He's Bangladeshi, and basically he pioneered this whole idea of lending money to poor people who have no assets. Yeah? And if you go to a bank and you say, I've got no assets, please lend me some money, they'll say, it was nice to meet you, see you, in the future, right? So the poor have they've got no assets. So how can you lend to them? There's no guarantee for the bank in case things go sour. And the whole idea here was to experiment with lending to groups of people who would then monitor each other, and that would act as a substitute for the lack of collateral, for the lack of assets, basically. So it's group lending as opposed to individual lending. Then we have Catholic social teaching. That's about things like solidarity, also subsidiarity, which is where decisions are taken by the people affected by those decisions, because the university, traditionally, has been Catholic since the beginning. So we still have this component in our research profile. Okay. Then you have things like responsible research and innovation and open science. Open science is where you're a researcher and you open up your research to the whole world free of charge. That's lovely, but most journals don't work like that. Most journals actually require readers to pay money to read those articles. But of course, if you do that, you restrict the readership. So there's a tension going on there. Then we have another topic, which is price controls and market economies. This is the classic, debate within economics and business as well, about to what extent should the market be regulated or even run, controlled by the state. Yes, big tension, if you like, conservative versus labor. That's the sort of idea, okay? And then business ethics and journalism, well, if you're a journalist, you, on the one hand, you want to be, very objective, very truthful, but at the same time, you need to sell. So you may be a bit tempted to choose what you write on the basis of what sells. So there's a tension there as well, if you see what I mean. So these are the kind of topics that we study within the cluster, within the business ethics research cluster. And, I hope they will interest you. And if you want to be a part of the cluster, then join St. Mary's and get in touch with me, Gerardo Girardi. I coordinate the cluster, and I'll be very happy to have a conversation with you and get you involved. That's it from me. And I think now it's the Q&A session. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Gerardo. So what I'm going to do is, I think if you could stop your share then, Gerardo, I will.
Oh, sorry, yes.
That's okay. I'll just stick on that last slide because it did have a link on it. I wanted just to, wait a minute. Where am I? Share screen. Yes, there. So there we are. So just before we get to the questions, if there are any, you can see on this last slide there, I've just added to it. Now, I don't think the link necessarily works directly from the PowerPoint, but there is a link there that if you are interested in what we've been telling you today and in St. Mary's and the business management programs, then you can use that link to sort of register your details, and then we will be able to keep you up to date and provide communications which will come directly from the university to you. So that's that little bit of blue there at the bottom. Okay, but yeah, just to sort of round off the session now, is there any questions, please? I mean, if there's anything that we haven't covered, I know I've got something I'll add to it towards the end, which I forgot to mention in the little PowerPoint. But yeah, are there any questions at all that we can maybe help you with, or give you some more insights into St. Mary's? So over to you guys. Oh. Don't worry.
Don't be shy.
There was one thing I didn't mention. I was telling you about the business management courses there and the different degrees that we have are offered at the moment. But what I didn't mention, which is still available, is the idea of doing what we call joint honours, where people study a degree in two areas. So, for example, business management and law is a good example, perhaps, of joint honours. It's still quite popular at the university. We also find students doing joint honours in, say, business and sport. So we still have a connection where students are studying in those two areas. So there are opportunities to do what we call joint honours programs. So you don't necessarily have to just restrict your studying to one particular discipline. I mean, of course, most universities would do that. So that was something I didn't mention in these slides, but it is available, and there is information in the prospectus about that.
Yeah, indeed, we're called the Institute of Business, Law and Society. So you can, for example, study law and business.
Yeah. Are there any questions at all out there, folks? We've got then, as I say, the link at the end of this PowerPoint. This PowerPoint, and I think the whole recording is going to be loaded so that you have the opportunity to review it and have another look at it. Please don't forget what I mentioned at the very beginning, which is to visit the institution. Please go and have a look. It's not very far away from Richmond College. There is an open day this Saturday. I think there's information on the website about that. And of course, if you register using the link that we've got at the end of the PowerPoint there, then you'll be sent information and updates about other upcoming events where the university is open for students to have a look at, prospective students to have a look around. Excellent. I think I'm probably going to stop the share then if there aren't any questions, because I think I'm probably going to stop the recording in a minute. But I'm hoping that was of some use to you. It's a little bit artificial, but nevertheless, you've got some information, hopefully, that will give you a bit of a guidance as you begin to think about what sort of choices you might make as you move on from college and go into the next stage of education. Hopefully, St. Mary's will figure somewhere within that decision. Okay.
Yes. And do get in touch with us if you have any questions. We'll be very happy to answer questions.
That's right. And again, on the website and on the sort of online prospectus, you've got all sorts of contact information in there if you need to ask any particular question.